What's up? What's up? Good morning and welcome back. Good morning and welcome back. As you're tuning in, be sure to check out the disclaimer. Remember that day trading is risky business indeed. Remember, do not use money that you cannot afford to lose. If you're looking to pay next month's mortgage, next month's rent, and you're thinking you're going to come into the market for a quick one, not the right move. Not the right move. In fact, it's the absolute worst move because most traders lose money. Okay? We all heard the heroics, the stories from people who've made money on GameStop, AMC, and others, even crypto. But the reality is that, you know, you need a good strategy, you need discipline, you need time. And so it makes no sense coming in and rushing the rush, going full speed ahead, trying to make a quick one. All right? Just in case there's one new person watching, listening, we'll say it just in case. I know everyone who's here every day, you guys already know. I don't even need to mention it to you guys, but you know. Other than that, remember to be careful with copy trading. It doesn't work. And then the last two reminders, remember, I do not invest for my subscribers, which means I will never message you first. I will never strike up a random conversation. Be careful of fake accounts. And lastly, be careful of now fake ads. People are stealing the content and are trying to run ads with it on Meta platforms and on YouTube platforms, Google platforms. So be very careful. Now, with that being said, we can take a look at the watch list. LGHL, one of our top stocks here today. Currently, it is up 46% with about 12 million shares of volume. Not too bad. Pre-market highs are clocking in at 290. Low of our current pullback has been 253, which has been below the VWAP. VWAP currently at 265. I'm going to take a look at the daily chart here. And actually, I can do this on Day Trade Dash. Sometimes I like enlarge my E-Trade Pro and then I kind of like zoom in right here. But we could do it on Day Trade Dash, being that it's filling up the entire half of the screen. So let's just go to 1 day and then zoom out a little bit. So we'll see throughout the history of this stock, going back every day since it IPO'd. As of recent, we've been below the 200 EMA. You know, it's had this gap down here from 28. And I'm guessing the stock had a bunch of reverse splits, which is why the price looks like this. That'll make a lot of sense. This was not worth $25,000 if we're to like zoom out and go all the way back. This, in fact, is a cheap stock, it looks like. So reverse splits aside. Am I on the right ticker here? Hold up. Jesus Christ. No, I'm not. LGHL. LGHL. There we go. Now, okay, now this will make a little bit more sense. This one also had reverse splits, though, right? Here we go. You're going to see it's like up at 20,000 if you go back on the daily chart. That's a good sign right there. All right, anyhow, now that we're on the right stock, zooming in, how are we looking in our more recent time frames here? So going back to June 18th, we had a move up where it sold off, though. Not ideal, you know, going from around 285, 276 rather, all the way down there. Highs were at 484. So it's impressive that we got up there. You know, 33 million shares of volume, but stock sold off. So, you know, it definitely is giving that history of popping up and dropping a second candlestick here, although lighter volume. And if we're to keep going and you know, zoom out a little bit, we can see that it's been very choppy and selling off. Again, 2 more candlesticks where we pushed up, sold off. So in terms of where we could go, you know, here we are today, moving up, and we have highs of 280s, 290. So, you know, we're right below the $3 level here. Can we see the break of 3 first? If we can get up to 350, that'd be great. And then if we can retest at least the highs of these candlesticks here, 480, and then maybe 396. So, you know, can we see $4 on a stock like this? That would be a good target, and it'll give us a little bit more room to curl up if it's strong right before those prior resistance. And that trend line looks terrible. Nah. We got to change this color. Hold up. Got to change the color. I was trying out a new color there, but it looks terrible. Okay, I'll use this blue here. All right. LGHL looking okay, looking all right. As of right now, we're still holding up the 250 level, which is good. When I see this happening, I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I just want to buy this thing, 1,000 shares, put a stop in place, see what it does, you know? I mean, we're holding up this level here twice now. Do I want to just buy 1,000 shares and just, you know, maybe more than that even, and just kind of see what it does with a stop in place? Okay. Moving on. Stock number 2. CWD. CWD. This reminds me of watching the CW channel for some reason. Similar name. Although this is a completely different company, right? Pre-market highs 332, lows 287 here, and that's right above the VWAP, which is looking good. I might watch this one into the open. It might be likely to give a move earlier, a little bit more likely. Daily chart looking a little rough. Again, we haven't seen stocks at like all-time highs on the daily chart for these, you know, small caps in a long time. If I had to just take a guess, maybe like December, September of last year, maybe, where we're looking at daily charts and stocks are actually at highs. We're still seeing stocks curling off the lows, which is quite interesting, right? Being that the overall market is at all-time highs. Usually all this stuff will always trickle down, and from time to time we'll still see a stock, or let's say we'll still see a stock fairly often curl up from the lows in a stronger environment, but we'll also see a good mix, right? Like we'll still see all-time highs, blue skies, people will be saying, right? I think the mighty got that from Ross. Blue skies. Blue skies is what the mighty says. The ozone layer will be visible. How high these stocks are on the daily chart. Right now we're curling up from Davy Jones' locker. I mean, literally, this is like the lowest this stock has been its like entire life. Well, let me switch. I'm on the wrong stock again. Let me switch to CWD. CWD. Well, yes, no different, right? I mean, the same exact thing. This is the lowest this stock has been its entire lifespan. If we're to zoom out and then keep going up via all the reverse splits, or actually this one might have been Just a really high IPO here. 76 up to 260 and then Titanic. And today we're curling up from the lowest levels it's ever had. I tell you. So we got 3 minutes and our last candlestick went up to 834, which was the 200 EMA, the 200 EMA around 742. Those two levels I'm going to map out. 742 and 834. Yesterday we did a really good job keeping things tight, although we did go green 500 to red 140. That was the only issue really. The stock that we were trading was trading very smoothly, and then we had a massive sell-off down to, I think, or like a bigger pullback, let's say. And then after that, for me, I kind of like lost the flow. I still traded it because it was making moves. I mean, there were setups that I kind of missed by, you know, selling 1 second too soon kind of thing. And so we ultimately got chopped though, right? So today, you know, and yesterday's aim was to start green and try to retain the profits. Today, likewise, we got to try to start green. Monday, Tuesday, we started red and then went to green. Yesterday, we started green, then went to red. Today, we have to start green, stay green, end the day at the highs. That's the key. And the moment we start to look backside, man, I think today another adjustment is to just forget the 5-minute setup right now. Because the 5-minute setup, the charts are looking so bullish still, but a lot of the times it's so difficult to determine the low of the pullback. We would drop from like 610 down to 490. I'm buying 490, the stock's still dropping down to 470 before curling up, and it's like, how much more do we need to keep dipping after basing out already? So, you know, maybe the 1-minute candle to make the new high off the lows maybe is a better setup for me to look at rather than actually trading the actual lows. So with 35 seconds here, CWD, I'll be watching this one into the open, and hopefully we can see some nice setups. I didn't write up the watch list, but yeah, just these two stocks here. Just these two. Pretty decent move to start there. We had 14 to 47, which is quite impressive. Small size and tight stops here for me early, but just throwing out a trade or two just to see if it does curl back up there to those highs. Tighter stops. There's 25. This one is definitely volatile, right? What I can see happening too is trying to buy certain areas and getting filled a couple cents above or below, even if you're lucky, of the actual target price you're trying to get. LGHL not really holding up super well. High of our current candle is 34. So we might see the 1 minute candle make a new high here eventually if it's going to be able to hold up. Okay, hold on, waiting. That would be the target here, the 1 minute candle to make the new high. Can we get a high of day out of it? What's it going to be? It's churning. It's a battle. It is a battle. No immediate reaction through 34 just yet. We got to 35 though. Just 1 cent. The days are going to come where something as simple as that setup goes up to like 370. That's the type of markets we've seen in the past. Where stocks just are just insane. Tight stop. And it's not quite going. So far, so good. Can we continue to hold? I think the key right now is that we're holding up fairly. We're not really like going all the way back down to $3, on every pullback. So if we can hold up, maybe we get a chance to break 34. And then we can retest the highs 50. Maybe see new highs 60, 70. And might I have spoken too soon? Can we hold? Trying one more time. Nope. So if I spoke too soon, we're gonna drop right back down to 3 here, it looks like. Pastor had to jinx it. Alright, is there anything holding up? Let me check. Jeez Louise, man. PTNM. Ay. The moment I said it's holding up, at least for now, it is through the ground, selling off. SLGP could be interesting. SLGP. Although I'm seeing a spread here. Oh, it's the high. I'm going to take the starter. 14, kind of high though, but we'll see what it does. SLGP. There's 27 on the ask. SLGP, can we see a retest of 40? There's 30. There's 34. 36. And will we push through? 37. Holding a small position for 40. There's 38. Close enough, I guess. Take the slippage back down. Well, there's 45. See, now a stock like this, it's very important that it holds up on the pullbacks, especially. But it has potential. It definitely is a little bit more risk, I believe, involved here. A little bit more risk. You know what? After using this level 2 here, like this different level 2, like with the different colors, like the original default colors, I'm now realizing how bad the colors that I used to have really are. Like it hurts my eyes. Like I never really realized. Frying my eyes here and didn't notice. The only way I buy this here is if there's like 100,000 bid. Like this breakout, I don't know. It could go, but the risk is getting to me here. In fact, oh shit, bro, they filled me. God dang, they filled me low. In fact, I'm gonna go short, but I got filled in the depths. Bro, see, like a trade like this is such a great trade idea. Then I get filled down there. Like, let's cut it. I tried for 46 fill. The bid gives out 10 cents to go short, which there's shares available. A bit of a higher low, which is holding pretty tight. LGHL didn't stand a chance. Looks like the day trade dash charts are having some trouble. Scanner still seems to be working fine though. Let's give it a refresh. AQB. Let's see. Ross has to up the data subscription. Give it the premium. Give it the premium. Where's the charts? Hold up, brother. Watch list. Is there maybe there's a drop down menu I'm missing there? I don't think so. That's odd. I'll, let me see if I can pop it out over here. Or it's just having issues altogether, it looks like. Yeah. AQB? Is there something on AQB? Checking the chat. The chimes, I can turn on the volume a little bit. The chimes are... Yeah, the volume is above its usual. Right now, there's not a ton. SLGP, can it rip to 60, 70, 80? Honestly, nothing really looks great, right? So I'm looking for something that can hold an uptrend and then give big breakouts in short time frames. SLGP is rejecting the recent high. All right, 10-second chart is back up. Is CWD worth it? And these fills are not, well, CWD might be worth it here, actually. Watching at CWD. And CWD. CWD. Man. CWD. Fooled me once. Shame on you. Fool me twice and that's just not good business. Okay, coming over to SLGP. Can we get candles to close above the pre-market high? Man, that is brutal. The chime is still loud. Honestly, maybe I turn it off. Goodness, man, bro. Freaking stock, bro. We're up like 10 cents and then it's down 20 cents. Okay, cool. Fair. Fine. Sizing down. not so good fill on top of that. Sizing down. Sizing down. We're down, what, 280. Not good. 280, too much. We had about 95 to 610, and then immediately right back down. So we ended up pricing in a low 75. 5-minute candlestick also recovering, which is good. It's hard to tell if it means business here. Scalps are a nightmare, man. I'm leaving this alone. I'm not touching this. I'm gonna go on the sidelines and wait for something else. This is too depthsy. Switching over to AQB. Maybe this one might be a little stronger. This all looks like depths. AQB, our only hope. AQB. The halt up is at 76 if we are to be impressed here today. Got so much volume there, we didn't push through. Yeah, I mean, you know, I should have went short quickly, is what I should have done. The moment it didn't go through that high volume, instead of trying again 51, should have just went short. They probably have shares available on this one too. Don't love anything here. This is some slow action here. Slow action. Red $300, I think, too. Let's see. Ah, yeah, not good. We need some Momo. Right now, there is nothing for the quick breakouts in short time frames. For the longer hold, you know, if you can get those precision entries towards the lows, there's something there. For the quick breakouts and a tight uptrend, this one could end up being head and shoulders if it doesn't break out. We need a push through 650. There's 630. What will it be, up or down? It looks good. Can we see through 50 though? Oh, it's my fill. 39, goodness. It's fighting for its life. No, 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 no. The candle needs to close above 35, and it looks like it's still fighting, but it's a struggle. Water. Bro, why am I still trading this? Let me put down the desk and have a seat. Yeah, my mic has been muted for like 10,000 years there. I think anything below like 38 is just absolute depths. Jesus Christ, bro. The candles just failed. Like, what is this garbage, bro? Like, this is ridiculous. In that type of candlestick is a high of day candlestick normally. Like, that buying that back right there was a waste of time. Like, just nothing. Jeez, bro. Just insane. Well, we held up 640 nicely up to 670, and it's cooked. Yeah, daily resistance. What would be nice is for it to just sell off if through level the first time. Spare us the trouble. It's still here though. You know, we'll see. Spare us the trouble. Well, I'll wait for break of 7, closer to break of 7. Maybe we'll see it hold up a little stronger if it's able to pull away through these levels. All right, good. Better. We got up to 85 right there. Time. What? Bro, how did I not get filled? I flattened the whole thing. Come on, bro. It's still here. gosh, bro, this freaking thing. It has what it needs to go through 7. It has everything it needs here. And it's still in the depths. Can we hold 670 and continue? If we lose 670 here, it's back down. That's it. Maybe 640 or below. I keep an eye on where we are, man, because the chop is real. The low of that last was 50. No, you didn't, bro. Why is it so choppy? Why is it so choppy? Why can't we just hold up like a normal stock? It's fighting for the 70 level here, though, which I do like at the very least. Anything below this, and we are donezo, I think. Time. Can this candlestick close above 70 in the next couple seconds? No shares to go short. 65. I would have had a 5-cent stop, though. Well, we flushed down 50 and below. I think I'd still hold the whole thing and wait. 50 and below. And I'd be stopped out, so I'm going long. Now fly for me. Fly. You best fly to 90. 78, 75. Bro. Why did I not take my 5-10 cents? These stocks are just annoying, man. In at 69, I saw 77. And instantly back down. I gotta just take my 5-10 cents. Jeez Louise. We didn't really make the new high. We kind of double topped up the 77 level. But expecting 70 to at least give a chance there for a bounce again and retest. No good. Back down to 58. Well, that was a good look right there, man. That did nothing. I'm leaving a lot of trades on the table too. Just not taking the gains, looking for more. Because the stock is in an area where it just seems as if we could get the push. And then there's nothing. There's a loss. Quite tragic. 381. Keeping it tight, but man. Right now we need HOLO or BMR to come ignite the flames. Right now the stove is turned on low. The flames are but an ember. We need the blaze to come back. This is like night and day difference compared to like if I pull up one of my archives, right? If I pull up an archive of a hot day, this looks nothing like it. Like it's not even worth showing up for this stuff sometimes. It's like I'm better off just taking this whole day and doing something else. Because on a hot day, you show up here, and the things that you'll see on a hot day, this day isn't even something that can linger in our memory here. How it's so slow. On a hot day, stock is going from 5 to 15, 3 to 20. Uptrend, holding up its pullbacks. Eventually, once it gets so extended, you know that massive flush out is going to come. And even sometimes then, it recovers. This is just... You know, there's opportunity. I'm not going to say that there's not opportunity, but it's not the usual what we would expect from a strong stock. We caught this trade nicely, but you know, needed a little bit more size here. In at 47, 49, out at 68. High of the candle was 75. Or was it this one? It might have been this one. How's SPY looking? September 17th, the next big catalyst. September 17th is the next big market catalyst. So we'll see, you know, if the Fed decides to lower the rates here. As we know, the current administration is putting on a little bit of pressure as the job market is slowing. will we see the lowering of rates, aka more money printing, as in companies taking on more risk, more debt to expand, creating more jobs, more opportunities, more breaking news, more hot stocks, more volatility. Also, we need a new like sub catalyst, I'd call it. You know, we've had AI, but AI is kind of like now, you know, there's still more to go with AI, of course, in the grand scale, a lot more. But we need like a hot catalyst to have more small cap stocks just going 300% off breaking news. Not just pre-market, but, you know, intraday. And this is beyond slow. This is just a mockery here. Big Steve, were you able to capitalize? We got Hollis in the chat, though, holding it down. Also, shout out to Grandpa John, man. Grandpa John, those charts are looking excellent. I mean, just solid Korean through and through is insane. Really nice to see. Dash having some nice days as well. We need to see some hot Momo. Some hot Momo so the pastor can see another sweet 20K day and multiple of those in 1 week and 1 month. And see multiple of those. Red 380, man, not good. Small red, but still, you know, like just, man, this market, I tell you. SLGP made something on that one. Apple has given a nice breakout from 200. Sadly, I only had small shares. And I had small shares because my plan was to add aggressively. But the move kind of happened so quick. It's almost like a breakout trade where you're looking to add, and then the move is just, you know, that's it, gone. So I had a starter and then didn't get to buy aggressively. But, you know, just we'll take whatever we get out of it. Green is green. Green is green. Snapchat had that little bit of a rise, and then that was it. Uber doing all right. NIK. NKE. Nike. Not too bad of a bounce from the lows. Nvidia missed by the skin of a teeth here, and still holding up very well. Although it seems like the expectations are extremely high, as always. UNH. What are some other ones? Yeah, what's the name of this ticker? Yeah, that pandemic drop was something else, man. When will we get the next big drop? Is a good question. May the next big drop be even bigger. Although this is not good for people with longer holds and longer portfolios. The bigger the drop, the more pain, of course, and especially if you're close to retirement, it's quite awful. Because then you'll probably have to wait some time. But for the young bucks like myself, the bigger the drop, the better. And the more I can take on, the more risk I can take on, the more I can max out everything. As long as it's not a depression, because then I will be bankrupt myself buying the dip, buying the SPY down at like 200 if it's to have that type of colossal drop. And then you look back and the SPY is down at $50 and we're all cooked. At that rate, there'll be pandemonium in the streets still, so money probably isn't going to be worth anything anyways. If something that crazy is to ever happen, that would have to be like world ending to drop that much. So realistically, we're probably not going to go down below like 400 again. There's no real signs of like a real weakness, although these things can come out of nowhere, it seems. Prices are high, people are being squeezed. But will that collapse the system? Maybe eventually, but not right now. Right now, people are just laying down and paying any amount of price without complaints. Only complaints via social media in a comment section. No real organized protesting or nothing. Just, hey, increase my mortgage and increase my rent by 100% and I will pay. What a time to have ownership, isn't it? A great time to have ownership. As people are paying any and everything. H1 Media mission failed, man. In the depths, down 380. Not good. At this rate, we gotta eat ice. We gotta eat ice for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Oh my God. Yeah, it's a lot of people actually. Like 500 people. Can you imagine having 500 people over for dinner? The type of catering you'll have to do. It's like a small arena, really. I've thrown a party before with like 500 people. Maybe it was even like 400. It might have been less. Because when you put all the decor into the space, like this, I can't remember the square footage. But when you put decor, the space becomes a little smaller. So I'd say like 400 people. And this was a lot of people. So I can't imagine, 800, 1,000. Some people are having like 10,000 people watch them at one time. It's literally an arena right there. The Barclays Center here in Brooklyn, I think, is 18,000 max capacity. Might vary depending on the event, though. Some events, they'll take up a little bit more space. This market right now is a slap in the face. But the days are coming though, where we'll all be able to consistently do very well. And for those of us pushing extreme size, you know, the days are coming very soon again where we'll see some insane days. I think record days and consistently hot days where we can see 5-figure days every day. Maybe even 6-figure days will be a possibility. We've already seen some crazy stuff here from the team. We've seen multiple people in the chat room pull off 20K days, 15K days, 30K days, 50K. We've seen a couple of 50Ks. Shout out to Beam, by the way. We've seen a couple of 50K days. Lucas, I think Lucas also had a 50K day. I think the Mighty did 49 once, or it might have been 54. Tim, I think, also did 50 something, or maybe even 60 one time. I mean, Save the Monster, 50K day is just a normal day for him when it's a hot market. 50K a day before waking up. It's crazy. Man, it's insane. There's a day I watched this guy trade, and that day, I you know, there's the opportunity cost. Like, I still don't know if I should have traded that day because I would have done well. But anyhow, so watching this guy make 50,000, it's like, holy smoke. Like, it's just, it's right there. It is right there at our fingertips. And the day I made that 18,000 in February, you know, part of that is having that confidence from seeing that day. So it did pay off in the end, and I think it'll pay off more even when it's a hotter market, because all it comes down to, you got it when you see when it's familiar, because it is familiar at times when the price action starts to go crazy, the setup is there, and you just have to say, you know what, man, although this thing could fail, and in the next 30 seconds I could be down 10, 15,000. It is risky. I can't say that it's not. It is extremely risky. But because, you know, the circumstance, the variables are in your favor for the setup, you got to just say, I'm sending it. I'm going for it. And then, you know, you can see the follow through there. If you don't see it, you just keep composure. You cover the trade for the loss. You take the tight stop, exit, and, you know, you're going to look at your P&L and you might even question, why did you do it? But you got to remember you did it because the reward was also on the other side of the trade. The reward was also on the other side of the trade. Yeah, gold and crypto also doing very well. I mean, Bitcoin, who would have imagined it doing this well? I've always never really loved it. You know, when it comes to stocks, we have that tangible thing behind it, right? We have, let's take a company like Apple. You have the physical products. You have software. You know, there's logistics, there's supply chain, there's, you know, there's employees. You know, there's real estate, right? And so there's a lot of tangible things, and I think for me with crypto, that's where I kind of maybe didn't really, you know, give it the attention it deserved. It's because it's so intangible, you know. We understand that it's the math behind it makes a lot of sense, especially in comparison to the dollar and how much printing is going on and it losing value over time ultimately because of that. Just just couldn't really imagine. I mean, that's how it goes, though, right? You're not gonna see everything before it happens, but I mean, from starting out so cheap to 120,000 is insane per coin. I was watching this video of this guy in I think he's a hedge fund guy, and he went all in on it. I think it was either I think like 4 billion or like 46 billion. I mean, talk about taking on risk. Like he took all the existing cash in the company and just went straight for Bitcoin. I mean, and this is like not one. This is it wasn't super cheap. I think it was like around 48,000 at the time. And he just went for it. The nerves of steel. The nerves of steel. Next team house trip is coming soon, guys. It's in the works. And we're finalizing the details. Anyone want to take a guess as to where we're going? The next team house trip is upon us. Of course, I'm not going to confirm where we're going just yet, but so far, a couple of good guesses. The Philippines sounds nice. I think Triad is actually still over there somewhere. Although right now he might be in Taiwan or Thailand. Alaska would be insane. I don't love the cold. Although Aspen is Aspen is it Aspen? I think it's Aspen. Yeah, I think it is Aspen. Although Aspen would be nice at some point. I'll have to practice my skiing skills here. Luckily, I can go to the American Dream Mall. The American Dream Mall in New Jersey, they have a ski slope, which is quite insane for a mall to have something like this. You only hear about these things like that in Dubai. And I'm not sure. I don't think it's. I doubt it's expensive, right? Probably just like a couple $100 if anything. Florida, no, not quite Florida. Although Florida is very beautiful, we will say. North Korea. Imagine going to North Korea and the team house teaching Kim Jong Un how to trade. Now that'll get a lot of views. Also, I can see him raging on a red day and breaking down his computer. And we'll have to teach him how to tread the fine line of discipline. A mama joke. Now, why would there be a joke like that? San Diego or LA? If I go back to California, I'm going to the Bay Area. I'm going to the Bay Area. Maybe watch a Golden State game, actually. I'd be interested in that. Although I'm not necessarily a Steph Curry fan. I respect his game. If it was not for KD saving them, they would have been in the depths. I still can't believe how people could possibly think that that team could beat the greatness of the King when they only won the first year in 2015 due to injuries from Kevin Love and Kyrie Irving. I mean, it's just, how could anybody think that they would have won? I don't know. But not to get into that and get distracted here, but it's a red day recap for those asking. We're down 380. Kept it tight, but lost on SLGP and CWD. Down 140 and then 205. I can leave this P&L screen on here. What happened in that year, I remember this. The reason why, I mean, I respect Steph Curry in his game, right? But I don't respect the Warriors fully because they won so many series due to injuries on the opposing team. Now, I like to see full competition, you know, beat everyone at their best. I'll give them that recent one where they beat the Celtics. You know, they did their thing. But in prior years, man, you know, the Spurs, they beat the Spurs, I think, one year. Kawhi Leonard gets injured game one. These small things like this people don't think about, but they just give you the credit of winning the championship, you know? You got to respect them when they beat OKC in that final, in that maybe semifinals in the West. You give them that respect there. You know, that was a fair, strong, solid win. Scuba diving in Australia and New Zealand. New Zealand. There's still so many places to visit and go, man. What we all need is like a 1 year vacation. I seen this cruise that's a 365 days a year cruise. Although you gotta not, you know, be afraid of the water and or hopefully you don't get seasick. And it goes all around the world, really, stopping at different ports, giving people time to explore. Yeah, the Clay and KD getting hurt, wasn't fair either. It does go both ways, right? KD also a little unfortunate too because when they went up against the Bucks, Kyrie also got injured. Kyrie just gets injured, man. Kyrie got injured. And honestly, would the Bucks have really won without Kyrie? Or yeah, if Kyrie was there, the Bucks. I think I said that wrong, but the Bucks would have more than likely lost, right? He got injured, I think, with like 2 or 3 more games left, right? Oh, here's another one with Golden State. CP3 getting injured, whilst Rockets are even with KD there, which is crazy to think about. This is, man, they're up 3-2, and Chris Paul goes out, and the Rockets have these guys on the ropes, man. CP3 doesn't get injured, they get sent home. Like there's just no way. They're playing way too much of a strong series. So here the Warrior gets bailed out in 2 conference finals due to injury. They won 1 in 2015 due to injury. That's 3 that we don't know if they would have. Now, if they had won all 3 of those with the other team being full strength, you have no way but to say these guys are just elite. But at this rate, you just say that they're better than everybody else. But because of those asterisks, you can't give them that full credit, man. As a team, individually, Steph Curry, you give him the full credit because he's good. But as a Golden State fan, right? If you're listening, you have to at least say what I'm saying here makes a little bit of sense. 3 conference finals where the opposing team, or 2 conference finals and 1 finals where the opposing team lost either their second best player or their main player. You know, Kyrie and Kevin Love not being there from game 1 or prior to, that's not a real series. Like, you can't count that. Then they lose the next year, 2016, and they run to get KD. You know, it's like a superstar shouldn't be going to a team that can win 70 games. Back in the days, they blocked. I think it was either Chris Paul. I think it was Chris Paul. They blocked Chris Paul from going to the Lakers with Kobe and Gasol because they said the team would be too strong. Have there been other super teams? Yes. Boston Celtics, Ray Allen, Paul Pierce, and those guys, I'd say, was a super team. Miami a super team? But the thing is how these teams are constructed, right? None of these teams are winning 70 games and then go get one of the best players in the world. They already had a big 3, right? They had the big 3 with Clay, Steph, and Draymond Green. Draymond Green not like the best offensive player, but you know, running the offense, his passing, his defense. So they already had a big 3, and then now it becomes a big 4. But it is surprising, and you know, I guess matchups is pretty important. It's surprising that the Rockets even had them on the ropes like that, because you would think that they would have just swept everyone, right? The MJ thing for me, you know, sadly, I never really got to see him play. His stats, when you check his stats, they were very impressive. High efficiency. You can see why this guy was good. But I never really watched him play, and I think it's only something that you can do live in the moment. Like if I go and watch a game now on YouTube, it's not going to be the same because you're not understanding the gravity of the moment, the gravity of the atmosphere, and how it affects, you know, the economy, right? I think when LeBron left Cleveland, it's like they're going to lose XYZ amount of billions just from tourism and people coming to watch the games. It's like insane. So sadly, MJ cannot be my GOAT because I'm simply just not old enough to have witnessed his greatness in real time. I hope that's a solid argument here for people listening as we're rambling on about nothing in these slow market times. What I would have loved to have been able to do is to see him and then see LeBron to then compare the two, right? I mean, 6 finals in a row, back to back to back like that is insane. You can't argue against that. That is pretty impressive, knowing how hard it is to win. LeBron did choke, man. That Dallas year was a year that they had no business losing. They were clearly the better team. And when you watch those games, it's like they'd be up like 8 points with like 3 minutes to go, and then they'll just lose the game because Dirk is hitting some ridiculous shots, and then they're missing some key shots. I mean, you know, that's how it goes. I don't know, his Miami days I don't think was his best days. Like he was more athletic back then, of course, but the return to Cleveland is the more complete version. And like the Miami days were like just like Showtime stuff, you know, like high flying, dunking. There were things that he could have been better at. But the return to Cleveland, it's hard to imagine a better player than that, even if it's in relation to MJ. Like that was perfection right there. Like a 2018 year, like man, this guy could play every position. Efficiency off the chart, everything inside and out. Yeah, you know, some things are done for money, right? The debates and stuff. But there's too many people who likes MJ for us younger people to not at least say, yeah, this guy had to have really been the real deal, you know? His stats alone just says it. The real deal. A Warrior fan and a LeBron fan at the same time is crazy work. Although you can be both. I used to be a Celtic fan and a LeBron fan at the same time. That's Celtics with Paul Pierce and those guys. Hopefully, when we go to heaven, and we all go to heaven because we're all good people here, all 367 people that are still here, it'll be a perfect world. I don't know how it'll work exactly, but hopefully we can just summon up these games, you know? Just drop the 2018, the 20, not the 2018, the 2016 Cavs, let's say, versus the 96 Bulls. Give them 3 days of scouting to watch film and just run the game, you know? Hopefully things like that can be done in the afterlife to see the results and once and for all have the answers that we're looking for here. It seems like the players have gotten better though over time. It seems like the you know it's almost like any industry, right? Like nothing stays the same. People are learning from each other, and you know the medicine and the technology gets better, the coaching gets better. I don't know if people will agree with this in every situation, player by player, of course, but it seems like now that there's a little bit more talent. You have guys like playing the center position, like a guy like Brook Lopez is a good example, right? These guys can shoot the 3-pointer fairly well. With when back in the days, like I wouldn't use Shaq because he was so good in his own way, but you know, an average or slightly above average center position player would never take a 3-pointer. So the way how you have to guard the floor is just so much more different. It's like a guy like Rudy Gobert. If he only develops like a 3-point shot, like what he would be able to do to the defense, you know, SLGP curling back up a bit, what he'd be able to do to the opposing team. Our volume is way low compared to earlier this morning, but the stock is moving up fairly well. Time 08. We had resistance at 70. Big resistance. I think unless it makes a new high, I'll leave it alone. You know what's tragic about this finals that just played is that the injury from the other team. I can't imagine being in that type of situation, man, where you work your whole life to get to that level and then you're doing well, you're having a good run, and then your legs just give out under you. The frustration, man. I actually watched a podcast with him. His name is Tyrese. This Logan Paul podcast. He was a guest on it. Actually, a fairly good episode. Not too bad. Novax, take care. Have a good one. The defense was better back then. Yeah, they said they had a lot of in terms of calls. They let people actually play physically and not just, blowing whistle every 2 seconds. For guys like KD and LeBron being on the same team, I don't like to think about it because they're like 1 and 2, and you want to see them go against each other, It's more entertaining that way. If not, it'll be too easy. $670, which was the resistance here. We'll see if the stock is able to push through and make a new high. If it gets a new high of day, I'll be very interested. And it is. Let's see if it continues here. 89 was that previous high. It's a little spready. Taking 93. I'm going to try and re-average. Oh, I didn't get a good fill. That wasn't good. And I got a bad fill coming out, of course. You know how that goes. Man, the fills are so cooked. Jesus Christ, bro. You get the high fill, then you get the low fill coming out. Did not get a good, bro. Freaking. Gonna go mad. I got filled at 702 trying to buy 988. Oh my god, bro. This is an abomination. Oh, you're this bro, like that's unbelievable. I knew it was a little spready with the volatility, but man, that is tough. Oh man, this is just awful. I like my aim when I tried that first trade there, I'm like trying to get filled at like 94. I got filled 99. Okay, cool. I'm looking to add if it comes down because it's such a good move. Ideally, my average there should be like 91, 92. Instead, it's like 701, 702. Over 710 could also be interesting for the push through 22. But it's spready, and there's a bit of risk there. No quick slingshot this time. Waiting. $89, $87. Damn, these getting cooked in the spreads is not good here. Two losses for 250, and we're back up. Jesus. My gosh. I don't understand how the fills are so insane. It's struggling over 710 though, right? It's the like the third time we got there, kind of got stuffed. The third time at 710, it's stuffed. Nah, I'm not. I can't trade it. 712 entry. I'm getting filled 730. I like over 710. I get filled 730. Bro, at least 20. At least worst case 20. Heck, fill me 22. 30. Nah, it's not gonna make any sense at this rate. I will take the $600 L and walk away. I will take the $600 L and walk away. I don't even care if it goes to 8 because what is that? What is that, brother? There's no way I should be getting destroyed like that. And we bought back like 89 or something, and we got stopped out on the dip. You know, going down. It's a great attempt for the trade. It's our previous high. It's where we had resistance. Can we be support? We had a low of 83. Perhaps we might stop a little too tight down there. Needed to have a bit of a bigger stop there for 90 entry and avoid the loss 90, 97. We got filled 99 out at 90 on that trade. You see, the strategy is one way all the time. Whether you make a few mistakes yourself and or you get a crazy couple of fills, it's just, it's completely out of whack. It's very delicate and it needs to be, you know, it needs to be smooth from both you and the market. Previous resistance. And then looking for that to bounce, right? Previous resistance becoming support, looking for that to bounce. We had that happen exactly here. And still, there's a fumble. Well, I'm out, and I will take the L.